Hello guys, welcome to my channel. I'm going to be talking about pretty much the introduction to this channel. Excuse all my sweatiness and everything. I just got done in the studio, just got done dancing, so I'm a little hot mess trying to catch my breath right now. So this is very raw. I wanted to quickly record this video because it's been on my mind for a little bit, and I think it's important that I introduce my channel for anyone that's interested. But anyway, the reason why I started this channel was because I wanted to inspire anyone that felt like it was too late, or they just took a long break from dancing and they don't know whether or not it's worth it to continue going. And I myself had questioned myself whether or not I wanted to keep going. And also I have took a long break from dancing and I'm just now getting back into it. And so I'm currently going through the process of dancing. So you guys could follow along and watch my journey, and hopefully it'll inspire you to continue going as well. And it's something that will help me, I feel, hold myself accountable, because here I am trying to inspire everybody and by being the example, and it would be very disappointing if at some point I just quit on myself when I have a bunch of people following me, or just a few people even following me, who are inspired by what I'm doing. But anyway, I started at a very young age dancing, pretty much when anybody, the saying, oh, I started this first time I started walking, I started dancing. The first time I started, being able to have a voice is when I started singing. It's kind of the same thing for me. When I started just moving around, moving my body and finding my personality, that's when I started dancing. And I enrolled in some programs at my schools, and I started dancing at school until high school. And I did dance team or a step team or something like that. And I pretty much just made connections with other dancers. They also had other opportunities, but what they were wanting wasn't exactly what I was wanting. I wasn't looking for the university style, I was looking for the industry style of dancing. And my sister was also dancing with me, so she happened to find a friend who also was interested in dancing and pursuing professional dancing. And we ended up meeting him, and we danced with him for a while, and he introduced us to his dance crew in the area. And I didn't even know that it existed, because where I come from is a very small town, and it just seems like nothing happens where I come from. So I didn't even know this existed at all where I was from. And so it was really exciting, and it opened up some doors to be able to perform and be able to work with top choreographers. And it just opened up the door and more perspective for what it's really like to dance out there. And it's really, really difficult, of course, but more difficult than what I was expecting, as a child. But of course, when you get into the real world, there are a lot of things when you're younger that you never thought were gonna be there, that just pop up in your face. You just have to deal with it. So it was really helpful to get a part of a team, and we traveled and we went to different cities within the country, and we did conventions and workshops, and I taught at different conventions, and we would freestyle everywhere. And so it was a great experience. It was really nice to finally get into the crowd and the community of dance, and it really opened me up to start dancing again. I'm sure you're probably wondering why I stopped dancing in the first place. And I stopped a little bit after high school, going up into college, and it was because I was going through just a lot of emotional distress from losing a lot of friends and family members to death. And I started feeling like I was dancing for them and not for myself. And so at some point I was like, okay, if I'm not gonna dance for myself, then I shouldn't do it at all. And I took a few years of a break, and then I just found myself coming back to it. And it was always just this feeling of, I always go back to that feeling of when I was a child. When I was really, really young, I remember watching the artist Aaliyah, and there would be Rock the Boat or More Than a Woman, and I'd be watching that video, and I'd just dance with, the dancers in the background, or dance with Aaliyah, and I always was that's what I want to do. That's who I want to be. And so I tried not to I'm trying not to let go of that feeling and hold on to it, to that childlike curiosity. It's just, I don't want to end up in a place where I find myself questioning why I didn't even like continue doing it. This is something that I really wanted to do ever since I was a child. But again, I had stopped because of a lot of emotional distress, and then once I had finally figured out that I wasn't dancing for myself and I was dancing for them, that's when I had stopped. That was the reason why I had stopped. But again, I kept coming back to it, and there were things, you know, within me that were saying like, you still love this, you still want to do it, you still should keep going, you still should keep trying, which I did finally. But before I got back into dancing fully and accepted that I wanted to continue dancing, I remember doing some choreography and bawling my eyes out. I dropped to the floor, I started crying because there was so much pain associated with it because of the times that I was going through when I stopped. And so I just had to let all those feelings out. And when I did, I never cried again. I finally feel like I can really enjoy doing dancing again now. And so, yeah, that's why I stopped, and that's where I'm at with finally getting back into it and accepting that this is something that I love and it's something that I want to do and I want to go for it. What motivates me is just that childlike curiosity and that childlike passion and love for dancing. That's what keeps me going, along with just getting older and not wanting to regret not having followed that childlike feeling that I've always had to dance. And I'm not, as much as I really, really would love to be a professional dancer, and that is my goal, just as long as I'm doing what makes me happy, that's important to me. So wherever it takes me is wherever it takes me, but I'm gonna go hard. I'm gonna do everything that I can to get to where I wanna be. So that's pretty much all I wanted to discuss about, you know, just the whole purpose of my channel. I'm gonna start putting on videos on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So expect to see those videos come rolling in if you're interested, and I appreciate you watching, so thanks. And I hope you are inspired by the videos.